Max right now, changing the difficulty. You're winning easily. Now it's time to increase the challenge. Would you like to raise the difficulty from above average to highly skilled and receive 25% extra credits? You guys know what time it is. Another Grand Prix has come and gone. It's time to do a meme review of the Saudi Arabian 2023 Grand Prix. Let's go. And we're starting off with an absolute corker. Please rise for this Saudi national anthem. And this sums it up quite well. Something was so off. I tweeted about it as well, and I'm glad it wasn't just me hearing things. That Saudi band, I don't know what went on. Did they just practice that 10 minutes before they had to hop on? Like, sir, we're meant to do national anthem today? You've only given us 5 minutes. There was not a single note in sync in that national anthem. It was the most cursed thing ever. Stroll, this was so real. I thought Stroll might have been onto a flyer. Boys, it purple first sector, green the second. I was like, hang on a minute here, boys. Could we have Stroll up there in qualifying? And then the end of the lap was so bad that he hardly improved. It was so underwhelming. The current oh brother, this was 3 hours ago for the Alonso 5-second penalty for the incorrect starting position. You are a thief of joy. Wait until they find out about the podium being nicked away from them for another penalty. They really are the thieves of joy today, FIA. George Russell pushing an Alonso and P3 apart. You can't have it today, son. You can't have it today. Alonso lights out be like it's an Aston Martin as well in the photo. That fits so well. Track engineer, stay on the 33.0. Perez and Verstappen, no. How about no? Verstappen's just ignored his engineer. And what is it, 32.6? And that's when Perez asked about his last lap time for Verstappen, and then just matched that. Because initially Red Bull asked Perez to do a 33.0, and I think it was very apparent that Max was ignoring that anyway. So they had to let Perez also ignore it, because both of them were pushing maximum effort. Max, we're not concerned with the fast lap of the Grand Prix. Max, I don't give a bloody rat's ass, okay? I'm going for it. That's actually genuinely what Max's face might be like in the debrief. They're like, Max, just want to go over the notes here in the end of the race. Just a bit of communication. So last 5 laps, we obviously said we weren't concerned with the fastest lap, and you did it anyway. Don't care, mate. Don't care. George Russell and the Saudi GP. Why I should stay ahead of Lewis. A presentation by George Russell. I really enjoy the fact as soon as Russell was aware that Alonso had served his initial 5-second penalty for the race start, he immediately got the speed on, because he was being told to let Lewis by because of what occurred basically, and he wasn't quick enough. Because he thought, oh, cool, he'll get a 5-second penalty, I'll be there. In the end of it, ironically, obviously, paid out for George to speed things up, because then he was the merc that picked up the pieces for Alonso's 10-second penalty. Red Bull realising they sandbagged the wrong car. They were like, oh, damn it, it was meant to be car 1-1, not 1. Orange, oh, God, Zach Brown visiting Bruce McLaren's tomb. It is pain for McLaren. Wing braking, or his nose cone braking, was because of debris from Oscar and Ocon's crash early, so that he couldn't catch a break, like, at all. Like, he could have maybe done something with the race, but he didn't have a chance because he had to pit as well from debris from his own teammate. Stroll apart the car completely off track. FI safety car. I'm so random. I can't believe I just did that from the FI. There was no need. There was no need. Apparently it was because it was a mistake. The GPS showed Stroll's car still on circuit. Allegedly, that's the reason they called a full safety car, because they had not seen the pictures of where Stroll's car was, and in those situations, you probably got to move quickly, so maybe there is some, substance to the story. Possibly they're just like, you know what, it's 100% safety car chance, we may as well just get that quota in right now. What a season, huh? Charles, it's the second race only, mate. What are you on about? He needs a drink. Get that man a drink. And don't tell me the drinks is broken. Ferrari's marketing team is smarter than the strategy team. It is, it's Ray we seek. They got it in. Is this real? If it's real, that's outstanding. It's Reusik. They got it in still, even without doing it. They got the infamous phrase into their marketing. Kudos. Max right now, changing the difficulty. You're winning easily. Now it's time to increase the challenge. Would you like to raise the difficulty from above average to highly skilled and receive 25% extra credits? Great edit from Forza Horizon, I think it is. Very much, yeah, Max on easy. I mean, it was difficult for him at the start, but once he got in clean air and, you know, wasn't like the really slow, you know, kind of midfield cars holding up in Sector 1, he actually had room to get a good straight line speed going. He was fly. That Red Bull, like in the past, those of us who've watched F1 for, you know, all the way back from the V8 era, Red Bull never used to be this much of a straight line pace merchant, but Red Bull now, they've got good aero and they've got straight line speed. This is Red Bull scariness. Like, this is actually scary for them, because at least before, we knew if you could somehow get ahead of a Red Bull and hold them up, you had the straight line speed, maybe you could challenge them in that V8 era. You know, that was what Seb was great at, breaking the toe of the 1 second and then off in the distance because the downforce in the corners pulled them away. But now, you stick a Red Bull P15, it's still going to fly past you because they've got both downforce, grip, stability, and straight line speed, apparently. Few little, obviously, still some worries. You know, Perez, you know, it was the brake pedal. The Verstappen, it was the weird sound in the car. So maybe one of these races, they do have an issue, but it won't matter. Clearly, Red Bull have so much, like 1 second over the entire field, which is just ridiculous from both cars, not just one. Yuki and K-Mag sneaking up on him. Ah! What are you doing there? Although, to be fair, it's ironic that this is this way round, because that's Yuki's height compared to K-Mag. That was mean. That was... I'm sorry, Yuki. Yep, here we go. 19 and 20 in the first lap. It is, it's tough out here. It's tough out here. McLaren chlorine session later today, folks. Tune in. The most hope I've seen in someone's eyes for a long time. Oh, look at him. You know what? I've struggled sometimes with Fernando as a character in the paddock, because at times he has been a bit of a cranky guy. He's the pantomime villain of the paddock. But this season, the amount of, like, positivity and hope and just energy this guy has in Aston is outside. Like, I've never heard so many team radios in the middle of races going, these tyres are fantastic, this car is fantastic. Even today, the hard tyre, fantastic tyres, I like this tyre. Like, Alonso's just a positive guy this year. I don't know if something, you know, it's just the fact he's finding, like, a good car that can get him some podiums, or what, like, you know, something's clicked for him over winter or something, I don't know, but this guy is just good feel vibes this year, and I'm here for it. Bro, again, Leclerc's radio. Javi, you need to tell me before that copy. This was awful. This silently was a stinker of a race for Ferrari. I know they got screwed over by the safety car. You know, for once, they actually got the strategy correct. And they dummied Aston with Stroll coming in earlier. That was actually really great from them. And then the safety car screwed them. But they didn't have the pace anyway, but these things also added up. Because Leclerc, you know, they might have got it right with Sainz, and in the end, they got Leclerc ahead of Stroll, ultimately before his retirement. But even still, with Leclerc and with the slowing up of the safety car, etc., that's what he was on about with the main straight. He was behind Hamilton, and ultimately then that ruined any chance, because behind Hamilton, they couldn't keep up, you know, being on the hard tyres. But yeah, I mean, this will be masked by their other problems this race, of a lack of race pace for Ferrari. At a smoother circuit, less tyre wear, and they didn't have that performance jump in the race they thought they said they would, and we all thought maybe as well, from Bahrain, which is very abrasive with the kind of the tarmac surface, etc. So Ferrari, you know, Mercedes, it's an evolution, it's a continuation of last year's car, and it's not really jumped up. Ferrari, they've evolved the car, and they've gone backwards, you know, and we saw that last year as well, where they went quicker with an older floor. I think it was around the Austrian Grand Prix, I think it was. They changed back to an old floor, so, and they went quicker in that season. So ever since, like, the first races of 2022, they've just been slowly going backwards almost, as other teams have been going forwards, and obviously that's the case in point of Aston very much are the second best team right now, and it doesn't help, though, that these mistakes still come in. I'm sure whoever did that little checklist of Ferrari issues last time out for the meme review, he's going to be coming back, because there were this issue and other issues at hand. And speaking of the devil, here we go. So Ferrari screw-ups, Jeddah, seems like half of the team is already abandoning ship. That was pre the race weekend. Number 2, Leclerc will start the second race with of the season with a 10th place penalty. That was already horrendous because they already used all their control electronics for the engine. So Leclerc, and that one, the third one they used, that's definitely not going for the whole season. So you know he's going to be getting another 10th place penalty at some point, maybe around Spa probably. Both Leclerc and Sainz already changing their ICE out of precaution, so they're already on 2 out of 3. They're not the only ones, to be fair, because I think McLaren had to do that as well. And then Xavi's got to tell Leclerc to push under the safety car to cover off Hamilton pit stop. So in total, we're at 11 screw-ups, and 1 we are checking, and 1 we understood. Leclerc waiting for useful instructions, and his engineer is just there playing solitaire. This is honestly this could be live from the pit wall most of the time. Like, what is going on? This is Ferrari. There needs to be better on the ball communication with this stuff. You should not be making a blunder like they did with Leclerc to cover off Hamilton. And maybe this is also the scenes back at the factory. This could be Fred Vasseur waiting for useful information about what's going wrong with their car, and all their engineers are just there at the desk playing solitaire, getting their lunch early. It's just shambles. The Saudi school band sounded like, oh, they're getting cooked today. They're getting cooked today. Yeah, this was it, you know. This was it. For all, I roasted Ferrari earlier. This was a good bit of work from Ferrari, actually. Sticking behind Stroll, tell Sainz to box, Stroll pits, Sainz stays out, Stroll's down to P10, loses ground on the hard tyre. The overcut works a treat for both Ferrari cars, and it's actually some good effing strategy. But it's just a shame then it was ruined away with the safety car, and then really in the end Ferrari didn't actually have that much race pace on the hards. Has the curse of winning the first race started already? Obviously Max had that issue in qualifying, didn't matter now, no. I think everyone knew it wasn't going to be an issue. He was always going to make his way through. It was nice though. I said it as well, I think a lot of people did, about, Verstappen's gearbox just did us a favour, because that was a little bit entertaining to see him cutting through. Otherwise, it probably just would have been a whitewash, a Red Bull 1-2, Max leading the whole time. So at least the gearbox gave us a little bit of entertainment, you know. The Aston Martin hype train, the McLaren hype train, it's been derailed. It's a sad day in the office. It's a multiple carriage collision, and yeah, it's going to take a lot of repairing to do, isn't it? And the Aston train, even without the podium today, still full steam ahead. They are genuinely on pace. And it's not just like first race luck. Man's probably did this out of sympathy. Max knowing he can literally win anywhere. And to F1 fans, just a small little token. Just, you have this Saturday. Have the Saturday night thinking it won't be a Red Bull win, and then we'll go back to normal on Sunday, back to normality. 2023 season in contact. This is painful because I feel Gary's pain here in this photo, but Hamilton not winning a race since 2021. Meanwhile, Alonso, he's vibing. He's not won since 2013, and he's happy as ever because he's just back fighting for podiums at least. Man who thought he had lost all hope loses additional bit of hope he didn't even know he still had. Oh, it's rough times here. This even holds up for after the race. This was before the race weekend where we knew about the 10th place penalty, but this could hold up after the race, to be honest, knowing how it went with the strategy for Leclerc, losing out to Hamilton and the race pace then. Proper sportsmanship, keeping up with the Verstappens. That was, I saw this live and it was very awkward, and I was thinking people are going to pick up on it because, yeah, it was a bit frosty. Perez goes over, even like Perez, his rival teams of Aston Martin, these old mechanics and stuff, were congratulating him. Goes to his own team. Yeah, I get it, cool. Yeah, it's not, his family member or whatever, but you think, come on, your son's team has still got a 1-2, won the race, got the second place. Your son's just done a huge recovery drive. To be fair, also the placing was awkward because this guy's hand, he knew, whoever this was on the Red Bull team, he knew Josh is right in front of me. He's not going to care. So I may as well get my hand in across to kind of, you know, just celebrate with Checo because he's not going to move out the way. And he's certainly not going to celebrate. Yuki screaming on lap 47. Everyone waking up from their nap, being awoken by Yuki. That man, he's done a lot of work apparently, trying to control his emotions mentally. He's still got that little fire and anger, which I do love. I do love. It's entertaining. Certainly at that point, the race was over. It was a bit of a snooze fest, so Yuki probably did wake a lot of us up. But that is going to be it then from me today, guys. If you have enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll catch you guys around. Goodbye.